Halloween. Happy Halloween! Yes, it is officially Halloween as of today, as of filming, and it is quite late in the evening. I've had a couple of trick-or-treaters, which is an improvement over last year when I didn't get any at all. I'd only just really moved into this place, so I don't think the neighbours were, I'm very sure, but I put a little skeleton dude out on the handle, and I got my lights up, so it was cool. It was nice to actually get some trick-or-treaters. So this video is obviously going to be a bit mixed with what to talk about, because I've got a few Halloween related things to talk about. One of which is I've just come back from MCM Comic Con in London, where I dressed up as the Hogfather. I showed a picture last time of what the costume looked like a year ago, and of course I've done a lot of improvements since then, and I'm pretty happy with how it came out now. So here's a couple of photos of me in the costume. I did get recognised quite a bit, actually. A lot of people seem to appreciate because I put a lot of effort into that costume. I half-assed the trousers a little bit, but I'm very proud of that costume overall, and I like that a lot of people actually guessed I was the Hogfather, because I have had people in the past think I look like Jack Skellington, and it's like, no, not at all. But no, yeah, it was very good. It was very hot. I mean, I was boiling. The first day, just getting in the queue at the start of the day was boiling hot, and I was about ready to pass out. But I had a lot of water. I went outside a lot, and the second day was a lot cooler, so I was able to stay in the costume a lot longer. But yeah, I was just drenched in sweat at the end of the day, but it was very much worth it. I did have a really good time in that costume. And the convention as a whole was really good as well. It always is. I go twice a year. I've never had a truly terrible expo ever. There's always been some highlights, and this one was good fun. And I also tried to organise a Halloween party for the Sunday. It didn't really go as planned, the way I'd hoped. Fair few factors involved. One is I'm not very good at organising things. So it was like, I came up with the idea, told people, hey, this would be fun, and then never really backed up with asking people to bring things or trying to, I didn't mention it a lot, so I guess I didn't really make a big deal about it, even though I was buying things and making a big deal about it in my own mind. But we did actually, on the Sunday night, after we'd went out to get food, we did play Pass the Parcel, because I found this Pass the Parcel in the shape of a ghost, which you unwrap the layers of tissue paper around it. So we did play that, and that was fun. We had my playlist, my Halloween playlist in the background, so we listened to some of that while we passed it around, and despite a few people being tired, I think it went down pretty well. Everyone seemed to have a good time. The horror movie I had picked, which was Sharktopus versus Terracuda or something like that. I thought it looked like what could be a fun, terrible movie to watch. We only watched part of it because, to be honest, it was just boring, really. It was bad, obviously. You knew that it was going to be bad, but it wasn't bad in a sort of fun-to-watch sort of way, so we didn't really watch much of that, and everyone was tired by then anyway, so I don't really blame them. So yeah, not the best Halloween party. I could have probably put in a bit more effort. I could have asked people to bring stuff and tried to make more of a big deal about it, but it's fine. Next year, maybe. Next year, definitely, actually, yeah, I've decided. And, of course, it being Halloween, I have to watch some Halloween-related films. So last night when I got back from the convention, I put on 28 Weeks Later. I actually saw 28 Days Later at a secret cinema showing, which, if you've never done secret cinema, I would definitely recommend it. It's a whole experience. You get dressed up, you go through a journey, you even go through parts of the film. We got chased by rage-infected zombies and stuff like that. It was such an experience, and to watch the film lying on a cot, looking up at a screen, was absolutely amazing. That was a great experience. I would definitely recommend Secret Cinema. Look it up. It's brilliant. 28 Weeks Later, though, I hadn't seen, and I thought now was the perfect time to watch it. And I was a bit surprised I hadn't seen it because it stars Jeremy Renner, who is actually one of my favourite actors. I'm a big fan of his. He's in my top 5 favourite actors. So I was a bit surprised I hadn't rooted it out before. And the film, it's a bit different. Because, yeah, you have the survivors. The difference is it's 28 weeks later, so the rage virus has now been effectively eradicated, and they're trying to repopulate England, but they have to take a lot of precautions. Unfortunately, the wife of a guy who survived the whole attack, she gets found, and she's carrying the virus, but she's also immune to it herself. Which is an interesting thing, which unfortunately she infects her husband, and then the husband goes on a rampage and infects all the people, as many people as he can, and the military's response to this is probably basically kill everybody, you know, just completely destroy the whole thing. So it's up to these group of survivors, including the 2 kids from the mother and father. And because the mother had some kind of immunity, this one soldier is hoping that one of the kids will also have it. So it's vitally important to keep these kids safe from not only the rage zombies, but also from the military who's trying to kill everybody. And one soldier who decides, nope, he's not going to go try and kill everybody, is Jeremy Renner's character. So he helps to keep the kids alive. So a lot of it is running away from zombies, running away from the military, and it's a gore fest, as you would expect from a zombie thing. But it's even scary because these aren't slow-moving zombies. They are rage. You know, they are absolute manic. They will just tear you apart. They just draw their blood with blood. They are just absolute, and they're not slow. They will pelt after you, which makes it even kind of, you know, a rush. And when it goes quiet, that's when it gets most suspectful and sometimes scarier. Like when there's one bit where they go down into the underground, but there's no light, and all you have is the soldier has a night vision, so she can see by looking through the rifle, but the kids can't see, and that's actually a really suspenseful scene. That was actually a really, really well done scene. But yeah, overall, it was a lot of... It's unlike with the first one. The first one, you had a lot more sort of... You got to know the characters as they were going along, and you're really focusing on these characters. With this one, you don't really know much about them. You don't know a lot about Jeremy Renner's character, despite the fact... All you really know is that he decided he wasn't going to kill everybody, and now he's going to try and protect these kids. And... yeah, I was hoping for more from him, but it is one of his earlier roles, one of his early movie roles. It's before he did The Avengers and The Hurt Locker, so he wasn't a big star or anything at the time, so it is a smaller role in some ways. But the kids were actually really good. They're brother and sister, so there's a lot of protection. They're very protective towards the older sister, so like younger sibling. And it wasn't, I don't think it was as good as the first one, but it definitely was kind of scary in parts. It was definitely an experience. It was an adrenaline rush movie. And I'm glad I actually got to see it. It surprised me in parts, but not in others. Actually, there's one bit at the end, without spoiling anything, there's one bit at the end which I was like, wow, that's unusual for a horror movie. I won't say what it is, but it was like, that is strange. I didn't expect that. But yeah, so overall, I actually did enjoy it. Yeah, I'll probably see it again. Next Halloween, possibly. And another Halloween film I decided to watch I've just finished watching, is one of my favourite films from when I was a kid, which is Hocus Pocus. I know some people sort of see that as a guilty pleasure movie now. I don't know why you have to find it a guilty pleasure. I genuinely admit that I like it, and even now as an adult, just finishing watching, I hadn't seen it since I was a kid. I have not seen that film in years. And while now as an adult I can recognise some of the sillier, and there are some parts which I'm sort of, yeah, the bullies are a bit cringy, and some of the choices in it are stupid. But the witches, they're over the top, they're goofy and silly, but that's what's so fun. I just love watching these witches be just daft and silly and over the top. That's where a lot of the fun comes from. Also, it's kind of funny watching Thackeray Binks, the kid who gets turned into a cat, because that guy's in NCIS. And it's so weird now seeing that. Now that I know he's from that, it's kind of funny. But yeah, overall, I think the film is still a fun Halloween film, and it almost got me kind of a little bit teary at the end. Because it used to get me emotional when I was a kid. I used to get a bit upset at the ending in a way. And it still did. So it can still have an effect on you. And I think part of me still does see the film through nostalgic goggles, because of course I grew up with it and it was one of my favourite films when I was a kid. But I don't care. I still think it holds up, and I still think it's a enjoyable, fun, silly. You're never supposed to take it seriously. It's just a fun, silly film to watch at Halloween. Really, that's the joy of it. And yeah, I definitely enjoyed watching that while looking out for the trick-or-treaters. So yeah. Thank you for anybody who's watched this, my Halloween videos for the month. I'm actually pretty impressed that I managed to keep up with it for a whole month. That's encouraging, because I do also plan to continue this into November. My theme for November, I'm actually going to wait until it's until next video to announce what that is, so I can then solely talk about that. But I do have a plan, and I will tell you all about that next week. So I hope everybody's had a fantastic, spooky Halloween, and I'll see you in November.